I remember back in 2016 when Donald Trump was running for president, there were so many times that I thought, oh, this is it. This is the end of his campaign. This is the end of his political career. He is done. When he made fun of John McCain and said, I prefer soldiers who didn't get caught, I thought, oh, man, that's it. Because Republicans, they stand up for veterans all the time, and they're all patriotic people. They'll never stand for that. But they stood for it. And then when he said the whole line about grab them by the pussy, I said to myself, oh, this is it, for sure, because the evangelicals are always preaching morals and values to us. And for years, they used to preach about how immoral Bill Clinton was. So surely, to goodness, they wouldn't get behind this dude, but they sure as hell got behind that dude. And no matter what he said, no matter what he did as he went forward, he could never lose them. And here we are today. He still has people hanging on in 2023. After he lost an election, after he incited a riot on our nation's capital, after he's been indicted 4 times, after he's got 91 charges, there are still people dead set with him. They're not going to back up. But there's a big difference between 2016 and now. The Donald Trump running in 2016 could stand up and he could paint himself as this successful businessman. He could paint himself as this vigilante against the system. He could paint himself as this voice for people that were voiceless, all this bullshit. But now, as we go into the 2024 election, we see that he wasn't the big businessman that y'all thought he was. He wasn't the successful man that you thought he was. He didn't have your best interest at heart at no point, and it's starting to come out more and more. He's more and more beginning to look like a failure. And one of the biggest moments to me that people should be talking more about is when he didn't get nominated for Speaker of the House. Not only did he not get nominated for Speaker of the House, but the man he backed didn't get it either. That should tell you that there's a whole lot of people starting to see through his bullshit. There's a whole lot of people that's starting to realize, hey, this guy is a complete and total fraud. There's still the base that's hanging on tight. There's still the ones that's still hoping that it's all fake news and it's all going to go away. But at the end of the day, reasonable people can see through this. They're beginning to realize that, hey, this isn't the same guy. He's off the Forbes list now. He's failed at everything. And he's not as smart as you think because he just continues to, as he goes up against the system, he just continues to lose over and over and over again after bragging for so long about how he could outsmart the system. And what about all of these evangelicals? All these evangelicals that just loved him because of his stance with Israel. And they even went so far as to say, we don't care about his moral values, none of that stuff, just as long as he backs our agenda. Now, because Netanyahu praised Joe Biden's handling of the situation, Donald Trump's out there bashing Netanyahu. So how do you evangelicals feel about it now? Are you ever going to realize he's not the same guy that he was in 2016? Actually, he's the same guy. It's just that it's all starting to come unraveled, and everything that we ever said to you is starting to come true. I'm just curious, how does that feel?